This is specialist language and knowledge to be fully articulated. And it's physics. So notice, this is again, look, think of the competition in our schools when people who play entertainment games write this way. But American kids can't pass the PISA test in science. We should have done the gamers as one of the groups in PISA. All right. Another example, at World of Warcraft, the most popular game today, people get so caught up with it that they form learning communities around it so they can articulate the knowledge. And this, I'm not going to read this to you, it's way too complicated. But here a kid is using what's called a damage meter. It's a modification of the game players made that measures for a group of people playing it all that they've done and how they've done it, what damage they've done. Because he's pissed at the company that patched the game and changed it and lowered the powers of the shaman. So he has set up a scientific test with a damage meter to convince the company they screwed him. And listen, so I want you quickly just to look at this and see that this guy is articulating very specialist knowledge. Please don't do this to me, Gilbert. It's the only vernacular in the whole thing. He used scientific reasoning, a completely controlled scientific test, and a particular new tool, the damage meter, that allowed him to intervene in this company to solve a problem, to show them that his knowledge is superior to theirs and that they better change the damn patch. And he's engaged, and you know, so we're failing PISA tests, and this guy's doing science in the World of Warcraft. Right? All right, let me close with a story. I'd like to point out that you know, we're in the age of pro-am, in which these popular culture things are leveraging better learning and better theories of learning, and I'm trying to suggest some of those to you here. Philip keeps coming up here. Oh, good. Thank you. How do you know I'm out of pictures? So one of the things that we've been doing recently with some funding from MacArthur Foundation is Elizabeth Hayes at ASU, and at first at Madison, was running a thing called Tech Savvy Girls Clubs, which is a way to try to get middle school girls interested in technology. And one little girl she was working with, who was very unaffiliated with school and very low status in her school, was like so many little girls these days playing The Sims, which is the best-selling game. And The Sims is a game where you build your own community, your own people, your own families, you simulate them, and lots of girls love to play it. It's made by Will Wright, the genius of game design. And this little girl, all of a sudden, one day, was playing The Sims with her friends, decided, wouldn't it be really cool if you could take a real piece of clothing, go to your favorite clothing store, take a physical piece of clothing, and put it into the virtual world on one of your Sims? And somebody in the club said to her, you know, I think you can actually do that if you know how to use Adobe Photoshop. And so this little girl, you know, wretched in school, goes and finds a free copy of Adobe Photoshop, masters it, which means to do this, by the way, you have to take a picture of the clothes, adjust the hue, the texture, the grid. You have to, in order to get it in a Sim, it's only that big. And it took her 2 months, 3 months, and she completely mastered enough of the Adobe Photoshop so she could go to her favorite clothes store, take a picture of the clothes, process it through Adobe Photoshop, put it into the Sims, and put it on her Sims. Then all of a sudden her friends thought she was wildly better than she used to be as a human being because they wanted her clothes. And she's then giving her clothes to their Sims. And then she discovered, wow, you know, you can upload the clothes to the internet and let anybody take them. And so she uploads her clothes to the internet, and now she has 400 people around the world who have taken her clothes, and she's getting a reputation as a clothes designer. Now, she hasn't yet sold the clothes, but we know she will. And Heidi Toffler and her husband, Alvin Toffler, the Tofflers are Gingrich's futurists, if you remember them, Future Shock people, in their last book says, this type of activity is what they call prosuming, not consuming. People making stuff off market for status, not for money, but eventually it trickles into the real market, and the Tofflers argue this is now the biggest part of global economies, and it is completely unmeasured by economists. So now she has 400 people taking her clothes. She has status, and she's a prosumer. And Betty asked her, well, what does this teach you about what you want to do? Expecting to say, I want to be a clothes designer. And she said, no, you know, I want to work with computers because I saw something about computers when I did this They're a source of power. She's now a pro-am, and this didn't happen in school. Thank you.